Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Harakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, GMS, the Ruel, and peace and salutations. Peace and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel, Yasharallah. Quick lesson, man. Just meditating on these jakes, that say, that they're for sure, they know that they're the elect, they know that they're the 144,000, which you could believe that all you want until the Lord returns, then you'll find out if you're the elect or not. All right. But one thing the elect won't be doing is will be saying that they for sure know that they're the elect, So, buddy, for you Israelites who say, that you for sure know that you're the elect, the 144,000, you know you're going to be saved, then you're not going to, all right? All right, because you're supposed to be a hopeful elect. You're supposed to endure unto the end. We're supposed to be prisoners of hope. And what is hope that is seen? All right. So this is because like the men of GMS, all right, who I give double honors to, okay. All right. What do they say? They say we're the hopeful elect, and they always harp on that notion, man. They always like, okay, I hope that I'm the elect. I say that too. We're the hopeful elect because we don't know if the Lord's going to save us. We don't know if we're going to fall out of this truth and become fallouts, like that one, like that one group in Mississippi. All right, well, what was his name? His name was Awar, and his boy. His man. All right, okay, with that big old Yahweh Shai, pennant, necklace with a big old leather circle saying, having the Lord's name on it. But at the same time, they're calling on the Lord as a different name from the Gnostic view, calling him Grand Kukumar or some bullshit like that. They're falling back. They're fallouts. But before they fell out, they were calling on Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. They were GMS members, man. All right. They had a pure doctrine. They were teaching the pure doctrine of Great Millstone, and then bang, they had a problem with brothers, and bang, they fell out of the truth. So you can't say that you're going to be saved. All right, you're on the same level as these Christians saying that, I'm saved already. So for you Israelites, it's usually you Yah Israelites or Yeshua Israelites who say this, who or call yourselves King David. It's usually you Jakes, or Old Testament only Jakes, or who don't even call on Yahweh Shai type of Jake. You Israelites who who say that you for sure the elect. All right, we'll see. All right, because I could fall out of this truth tomorrow. Right after this lesson, man, I could fall out and not do any more lessons. So I can't say, the next man in this truth can't say that they for sure know that they're the elect. We're the hopeful elect. We hope to be the elect. We strive to be the elect. All right. This is 2 Corinthians 10 and 12. It says, for we dare not make ourselves of the number or compare ourselves with some that commend themselves, but they measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves are not wise. You hear that, man? That goes for, this is talking about you Israel, you men, all right, who say, all right, that I'm the 144,000 for sure. I know I'm the elect. Yeah, I'm the elect. No. It's what it says right here. For we dare not make ourselves of that number. And that number is talking about the 144,000. All right, because when you tell yourself or say that you're the 144,000, then what's the point? Why do the work? If you know that you're going to be saved, then now what? Just do whatever you want, you know? Because you could fall out of this, truth, man. All right, because from here on until the Lord returns, we're supposed to be proving ourselves to the Lord so that we are worthy to be saved. All right, because we don't know if we're saved or not, man. That's how the Lord works. He's not going to tell you, or he's not going to let you know until he returns and saves you or doesn't save you. Okay. So that leaves it up in the air for you to do what? All you can do is do the work of the Lord to the best of your ability. Go 100%. All right, because if you know you're the elect, you're going to take your hands off the plow and F off, until the Lord returns. All right. Because like I said, you could be a brother in this truth and be fervent, doing videos every day, rehearsing the righteous acts, being charitable and everything, man. And then bang, the next day, you're out of this truth. I thought you were the 144,000, and I thought you were the elect. You said you was the elect. Now what? Exactly. You can't say that you're the elect for sure. All we can say is that we're the hopeful elect. We strive to be the elect. Like the scriptures say, put on as the elect. It didn't say put on and say that you are the elect. No. Because you can't be the elect, all right, until the Lord returns and, and shows you that you were the elect, okay? You don't save yourself. The Lord saves you, okay? Let me get that. Matthew 24:14 says, many are called, but few are chosen. So there's going to be men who call themselves the elect, all right? But they weren't chosen, okay? There's going to be many men who hear the truth and call on Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai and say that they're Israelites, coming to this truth. But, hey, they didn't even start doing the work. Or they fell out of the truth right before the Lord returned, That's the spectrum, man. You hear this truth, you believe it for a few minutes, and then you don't even show back up to camp again, or you just go back into the world. Or you hear this truth and you work for Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai all the way right before he returns, and you fall out and bang, you were never the elect. You did all that work for nothing. All right, and I pray that I'm not one of those men, man. All right, I pray, Baba Kasha, because, hey, man, this is Romans 8:24 says, for we are saved by hope. All right, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doth he yet hope for? All right, the Lord wants us to hope for him, okay? We're saved by hope, all right? But if you say that you're the elect, what's there to hope for? You're already saved. You did it already. You're the elect. You found out. The Lord revealed to you and only you that, hey, you're the elect, okay? What's there to hope for? Exactly, man. All right, you don't got it. You Jakes who say that you're the elect for sure, you don't got it, man. No, you don't got the truth, all right? Because that comes with the spirit of pride, and the Lord rejects pride. He hates pride, a prideful man, all right? You're not saved, all right? We're saved by hoping until the Lord returns, all right? We hope that he has chosen us from the beginning of time to be the elect. We hope that when he returns that he saves us, saves me, okay? Redeems me, all right? If you say that you're the elect already and you know the Lord's going to save you, all right? Then where's the hope at? That's why it says, dare not number yourselves among that number. Matthew 24:13, it says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Okay? Endure to the end. When you say that you're the elect, then bang, you did the work already. You found out. There's no work. There's no enduring no more. First Thessalonians 5:8. It says, "But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet, the hope of salvation." Okay, because let me get that, man. The definition of hope. Hope definition. It says a feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. All right, so it's a thing for it's something in future tense. A feeling of trust, wanting something to happen or be the case. If you say you're the elect, all right, already you know for sure that you're going to be saved, then hope, you don't fit the scriptures as the elect, all right? You're not the elect, all right? If you say, because one of the characteristics of the elect is to hope in who? The Yahweh Shem Yahushai, all right? So you're not the elect, man, because the elect wouldn't be calling themselves the first start of the elect. They'd be calling themselves the hopeful, all right? The hopeful elect, because the Lord told us to hope in him. Simple as that, man. I could turn off the video right now, but I'm going to keep going. Zechariah 9:12. "Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope." All right, so the Lord made us prisoners of hope, okay? Okay? And the main characters throughout the whole movie, that they're hoping for the desired outcome, all right? For the happily ever after, okay? Because there's a chance that it might not happen to you, okay? Even today, do I declare that I will render double unto thee, okay? So Romans 9:16. "So then it is not of him that willeth." So this is Romans 9:16. I want to start at Romans 9:15. It says, "For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion." All right, so you don't get to decide, man. The Lord could make you think that you're the elect all the way to the end, and bang, the Lord's like, "Nah, man. I didn't want you. I deceived you to the whole way. You were never the elect." All right, because my sons wouldn't call themselves the elect. They would call themselves the whole elect. All right, so then verse 16. "So then it is not of him that willeth." So it's not up to you, man. It's not up to your strength, your decision, nor of him that runneth, but of to God Yahweh that sheweth mercy. Okay, so it's not up to you, man. You can call yourself the elect all you want, but the Lord told us not to. All right, Romans 8 and was it 30? Verse 29, it says, "For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate." All right, decide. All right, chose from the beginning. Predestinate, that's what that means. Predestination. Predecision, okay? Decide before it even happens, man. All right, "To be conformed to the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren." All right. Verse 30, "Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called." Okay. I'm gonna read that again. "Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called, and whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, them he also glorified." All right. "What shall we say then to these things? If God be for us, who could be against us?" Verse 32, "He that spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things?" Verse 33, which is the point. All right, it says, "Who shall lay anything to the charge of God's elect? It is Yahweh that justifieth." Okay, it's not up, it's the Lord that decides who he's going to save. All right. That's why we say we're the hopeful elect. Okay. We can't, we can't say that we're the elect, man, because it's the Lord that justifies. It's the Lord that saves us. He chooses. Okay. You could, like I said, tell yourself that you're the elect all the way until the missiles, hit this place. Let's see if you're the elect or not. All right. Which I know for a fact, if you call yourself the elect for sure, you know you're going to be saved. When those chariots come, you're going to be beamed up into those chariots. I guarantee that you're not. All right. We strive to be the elect. All right. We hope to